this?
Oh, they don't. Well, I tell you what we're gonna do. We're just gonna introduce them to the boy. So move over a little bit, good buddy, because the snowman is coming through.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name's Tim and this is Tim the Trailman, and today I'm going to go over my new Midland MXT575 mini mobile GMRS radio. And I bought it with my own money. I wanted it. I wanted something powerful. I've never had comms in Roxanne, and being into overlanding and trail riding over roughly the last 9 months, I needed to get something, and so I was excited to get this. So I'll tell you a few of the features that I enjoy about it. By no means am I a GMRS expert. Midland is a name that I knew, and so I felt like I could give it a shot and see how it goes. And then doing research on the forums and Facebook groups, Midland comes recommended as well. So I'm going to go over what I like about it, and I'm also going to show you where and how I installed it in the 4runner. Let me show you what came in the box first, and then I'll show you how I installed it in the 4runner and some of the stuff that I bought additional to help make the install easier. The first thing that I like about the radio is that all the controls are on the handheld mic, and so the speaker is on the body and the mic. You can set it to be on the mic only, the body only, or you can have it on both depending on where you set the body and the vehicle. And so I really enjoy being able just to change channels, adjust the volume. The power button is on top of it as well, so you actually turn it on and off from the mic. And so that is one of the main features that I do like about it. It is repeater capable, and that means it can jump on other towers and use other signals and stuff, things that I don't quite fully understand. So let me show you what antenna came in the box, and then show you what antenna I'm going with. So in the box, it comes with a magnetic base antenna, and this antenna here is the one it came with. While it looks kind of dinky, it actually is pretty powerful. There's another YouTube channel named Not a Rubicon. He does a great review, and I think he has over 10, 15, 20 miles, 25 miles of range with this antenna from inside his house studio. So check out his videos. So this antenna is actually really good, and it came with a magnetic base with this rubber mount. I hate magnets on Roxanne. I just don't like magnets on paint. I paid money to get her ceramic coated. I clean it, I wash the car, I polish it. Like, I like her looking shiny after I take it off-road and muddy. It's a complex that I struggle with regularly. So I did not want the magnetic antenna on the roof, on the hood, just I didn't want it. So I am not going to be using this one. So I went ahead and purchased this 6 dB gain antenna. I don't have a clue what this means. It probably means it's better. But what I do like is the antenna, it does get it a little bit higher above the vehicle if you wanted to, and the threaded mount would go onto the magnetic base if I wanted it to. That is compatible. This additional antenna cable, and it's like a slimline mount or ultra thin term that is called, and what it does is it allows you to run the cable and then mount to a variety. You can go through the roof of the car, the hood, a panel, or in this case, what I'm going to be doing is attaching it to a ditch bracket. Okay, so this is a piece of scrap metal I had around the house. Midland does sell these. They were sold out. They were $25 at the time, and I just found a piece of scrap metal, and it already had a hole here and a hole here. I needed to drill this to a 5/8 hole, and what that will allow me to do is put this plastic spacer in here, and then run the coaxial up through there, thread this down, and then what I'm going to do is, this is a ditch bracket from Cali. So what I'm going to be doing is installing this, and I'll show you how to do that. And then what will happen is this will bolt up here like so, and then the antenna will stick off the side over the fender, and it won't interfere with the windshield or anything when the hood is open, and it will just be out of the way and not stuck to the paint. Let me show you one of the benefits of Midland coaxials too, is you can actually remove this fatter piece, so then you can stick this through the bulkhead. Some people call it a firewall, some people call it a bulkhead. Good argument on the internet. Go ahead and ask that question to a Facebook group if you're interested in why it's called a bulkhead and not a firewall anymore. But once you run it through the bulkhead and go ahead and attach this, then it'll go into the back of the radio. So I'm going to leave it off for now so I can do that. This is an Ethernet extension cable with a female end here and a male end here. This will go into the MXT575 radio,
and then this will go into the dash, and then I can plug the microphone in and out of it, so when I'm not using it I can take the mic out, and when I do need to go on trail rides and use the radio I can plug it in. And what I need to do now is basically sand down this edge right here on both sides, and it's going to go into a knockout plug that's in the dash next to the steering wheel, and it'll make a little bit more sense once I get it buttoned up, and I'll show you the final end. Before I sand it, I want to put a little bit of tape over the port there so the dust won't get in. Then I'm going to use my power sander here and sand down the edges of it and get it narrow enough to fit into that knockout plug. So here we go. Alright, I just got finished sanding it off camera, so you can see here the sides are thinner now, and this is the knockout plug from the dash by the steering wheel, and so it's almost a perfect fit, and I've already test fit it in the dash and it's going to work out just fine. So I'll show you the final install once I get the radio put in. Okay, so the first thing you want to do before you put on the ditch light brackets is mark the hood hinges where it mounts to the hood, so that way you can put it back in the right spot or make sure that it doesn't move. And so what I like to do is use a Sharpie paint marker, and I'm going to outline a little bit of the hinge on the hood and line them up, so that way while I'm holding it, if it does move, I can put it back. I'm really detailed when it comes to panel gaps, and there's some brands out there that may require plugging in that have some panel gap issues. I won't mention their name, you might know who they are. And when you go shopping for cars, if you ever want to know if it's been wrecked, check the panel gaps. Doesn't matter what the Carfax says, the panels don't lie. So I want to make sure that the panels match up, because Roxanne has never been wrecked, and there is a risk of when I loosen the hinge bolts and take them out that the hood will move, and I may or may not be able to get it back in the right spot. So let me go ahead and mark those. Okay, so that's how I marked the hinges right there. Just went around them top, bottom, did it on both sides. So I've got the ditch light brackets here. What we just need to do is take these two bolts out and then put them back through there. They'll go bracket, hinge, hood, and then tighten them down. And I've already showed you the paint markers. It would have been great if they just notched these out so you could slide it over and not have to take the bolt all the way out, but Cali Race didn't do that. Maybe a pointer for future Cali Race. So the next pro tip I would say is to get a second pair of hands, and so I've got Mary here to help me. On the first try, so let me show you the panel gaps now. So there's the new ditch light bracket. We're going to put the antenna bracket on there, and then you can follow this panel gap down and see that it stays parallel, lines up there, 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 and it's parallel all the way down. Okay, so we've got the coaxial end here for the antenna. And what I'm going to do is put this plastic washer in there to take up that gap. Then put this back on here. Run that up through the bottom. Thread that down like so. And thread the antenna on. Nice and snug, not too tight, it's just brass. And I'm going to get a zip tie for that, and then show you running that through the bulkhead there to the inside of the radio. So right down there is where the power wire went through, and the coaxial for the antenna through the bulkhead. Okay, so here you can see where the power cable and coaxial come in through the passenger side, and this is the body of the MXT575, and then this is that extension cable that came through from the driver's side from the steering wheel. So I don't think it's going to show up on camera, but up there are zip ties that hold the frame to the lower kick panel on the passenger side, and then the body just slides into it. It doesn't slide all the way back, as you can see here, because the coaxial runs into the floor pan of the 4runner. But I like this spot. It's easily accessible, it's serviceable, and then it allows me to move it later if I need to. But you can just see here again that the coaxial comes through, and I don't have to do any major dash work or hide it or anything like that. So right here's the finished product of the install of that auxiliary cable that I bought off of Amazon. I'll put the link in the description. And it just runs down through here, behind here, over this direction, up through behind this panel, and then out through there. And so there it is, plug it into there. Then I just take the mic cable and I can plug it into the 4runner there, and then the mic will sit on to the sticky mic holder there to this panel. Hey, if you made it this far into the video, thank you for watching and sticking along on how I installed the radio into Roxanne. And this is just the first use video. I wanted to say that I've had it for a couple weeks and it's been out on the trails and it's been great. And in the future, I'm going to compare the 3dB ghost antenna, as Midland calls it, to the 6dB antenna with the same radio and see how it does on distance, if there's any advantages to having the taller 6dB antenna over the 3dB ghost antenna. And so as always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the trails.